energy on that. And those things literally came apart. They dissolved. They became useless. That's the ideal, of course. That's the ideal. But we have a world here that we have to look at as well. And let's let that be our goal. But meanwhile, let's not be stupid. Now, here are some words from a sincere one who wrote to me. Let's look at them. It's just one sentence. Is there a difference between action and thought? Is the thought of killing, even the preparedness, not already an act of violence? Now, this echoes a biblical phrase. If you've lusted in your heart, you've done the deed. So that's what this is saying. But let's take a further look at this. All things can be misunderstood and misused by the mind. We're tricked and trapped into that. This could be a page right out of the dark side's book of tactics to get us to believe this way. Can you see the distortion of the mental operations there? This is to completely disarm one's enemy, to get them to believe this way. They make then sitting ducks of themselves, easily conquered and led. Then, years later, when the takeover of the light beings is complete, all freedom is restricted and heavily controlled. All are locked down in effect. What then? How much good does it do then to mourn the lack of vision, of action, of the failure to prepare, to be wise? What of the Boy Scouts' excellent motto, be prepared? This is no place or time for 20/20 hindsight. I call for some foresight of a different kind. Another argument used is the straight religious one. Turn the other cheek. Let yourself be killed. Christ is often used as an example. We know he didn't have to permit that. So, I say yes, there are times when this is appropriate. Selective ones. Any student of history can well predict the likely results of the widespread use of that philosophy. One must consider the times and know the enemy. There's no need for defenses in heaven. But I think if we look around, we realize we're not in heaven yet. So I will not argue with religion or religious beliefs. I support everyone's right to believe as he or she chooses. There are some things to consider, though, concerning religion. In general, we no longer have the pure teachings of anyone left to us here on the earth. The scriptures have been altered massively, many destroyed. The actual teachings of the Christ, the Buddha, the saints and sages simply did not survive the victors of long ago battles, for the most part. The winners write the history books. Simply stated, the powers that be don't want us to know those true teachings of the light beings. Now that's pretty basic. We've just underestimated grossly their power and ability to manipulate our reality. So, for today's version of religion, personally, this is just me, I have no respect either for it or its teachings. It is interwoven with too many lies. Yes, there is light there, and I respect that. But there is too much darkness there, also at the very top of the religions. Around the world, everywhere, it's the little people that are wonderful, no matter their color, religion, creed, or anything. The ones at the top of the main power structures of the earth are very dark, however. That's how they got to and keep those positions. And religion is one of the strongest of these power and control structures. I'm going to put a link for you to Jordan Maxwell. He's an excellent researcher, and he's got a beautiful lecture on Astro-Theology that's well worth a listen. We are not recognizing the amazing mental abilities of the forces around us, arrayed against us, my friends. We are treating them as if they were just another one of us, another version of who and what we are. They are not. As was well said, our battle is with principalities and powers, with evil in high places, with a vicious disregard for life that is simply beyond our ken. It is shocking. So let's not be stupid. That is my call. I don't for a moment recommend violence of any kind. I have no use for that. Nor do I recommend laying down your life, the lives of your loved ones, your families and communities, along with whatever freedoms we still have, by just giving them up out of either fear of violence or misguided beliefs of any kind. Have you heard it said that God helps those who help themselves? We cannot expect to behave foolishly and then be rescued by Source. It just doesn't work this way, in my experience. Please realize that on any battlefield, both sides are sending up prayers to the Lord, prayers for victory. Do consider that. We must step up to the highest and best standards of ethics we can possibly conceive. Laying down my life for my brethren may just entail fighting to defend their right to be. One never knows. My call, my cry even, is not to close the door on other, maybe higher ways of looking at things. Just consider. We are outthought oh so easily by these mental giants, these ETs. They are so far and away advanced over the current state of mankind, we cannot even begin to compete with them on their chosen field of play, which is the mind. They manipulate us so easily there. That's their trump card. Don't you see? Please consider that a big part of the manipulation of man may be exposed in this writing right here. Please consider that some of your dearest held beliefs are what need challenging for you to back away from fear. Please, please just be open to consider that. Take a few steps back and get the mind out of the arena entirely. Enter heart. Look at it from there. Reject all thought. Listen to heart. That is all I ask. I don't tell you what to think or how or any such thing. I just share my own musings with you. Please know that it has been rather difficult for me to engage with the mental mind in this way, in this writing. It is not at all my favorite place to be or to operate from. I retain my perch in the heart nonetheless, and I do all of my thinking from there. That's my goal anyway. I'm not perfect, heaven knows. So this is still my heart's perspective on these things. Now, these are very 3D things. That's part of the pain of them. It's treating such transient things as if they hold deep meaning when they don't. Mankind's tendency is to get so darned identified, so tied up in body and mind, that he takes all of this so terribly seriously, but not from the highest perspective. Now notice I didn't say wrong perspective. I don't know, maybe there is no such thing. There are better and higher ways to view things, though, always. That is what heart teaches us and takes us to the extent that we are willing, are ready. Being willing means being unattached to our own views, at least sufficiently to entertain fairly other possibilities. So I call for an opening of hearts and minds around this subject of arms. I call for us to come back together and remember we are brethren as we have this discussion. I am all for keeping arms. Those who want to, peacefully keeping them. I call on my fellow brethren to research their own country's history and the history of others that have been taken over. Though America is though it's no longer taught in schools here, the reason for the Second Amendment to our Constitution was clearly stated to keep the power in reserve to take back the country from a corrupt government that might extend, given the chance, beyond its lawful and moral powers. Absent this right of the people, we would long ago have been enslaved. I know that at least some of you can see this. So I say, wake up and see the manipulators at work. You are not sheeple, but they think you are, and that's how they will be defeated too, in their overweening arrogance. They underestimate you and I, so let's wake up together. Let's enter heart. Let's find a higher way of viewing all of life. May we never have to use those arms, my friend, but may we not lay them down all the same. I love you. I know this is difficult, even painful for some of you to read, to listen to. It strikes, no doubt, at some of your dearest, most closely held beliefs. Please, in the spirit of Byron Katie, let's realize that all thoughts, all beliefs, every one of them can only be false. The level of thought and belief is not the real thing. It's not what we're after. What we seek is always found through and within heart. I love you. Now you go your own way, and with my blessing. I don't care what choices you make. That's thoroughly up to you. That's your life you're leading there, and it's up to you, not me at all, to run your affairs for you, to choose what you think, do, or say, what you feel. You are already divinity. Manifest there. Let's all jointly awaken to that. Love is us. Sometimes it must be tough love, but love is still and always love. Mind cannot know how it will manifest. Together, let's enter the kingdom of heart. And I have a little footnote from somewhere up there that says, I do not single out any one religion or creed here, as that is to fall in with another of the dark forces' plan to pit brother against brother. Let's ever remember